Hey guys, welcome to the Usman Developer channel. In this video, we will be focusing on variables, what they are, why do we need them, and some examples in the Java programming language. If you are using a different programming language, I would still recommend you watching this video. Hopefully you can learn a few things and then transfer what you have learned over to the language of your choice. So without further ado, let's go straight into Paintbrush, where we have over here a very nice illustration of what's happening when you create a variable inside Java. So over here, I've created two examples. One variable is called age, so that's the name of the variable. It's got the value 22, and another variable is called name, and it's got the value Joe. Okay, so what I'll do is I will quickly switch over to Eclipse over here, and I will basically create those two variables, and then we'll keep kind of switching back and forth from Paintbrush to Eclipse to kind of demonstrate what we have got and understand more what variables are. So I'm going to create a variable first called name, as we have over here, name. So the type of this variable will be a string. The name of this variable is called name, and that equals to the value of Joe. Next line, I want to create a variable called age, and the value of that is 22. So let's go back over to our paintbrush. We can see that we have created a variable called age, and the value of that is 22. And we've created another variable called name, and the value of that is Joe. So what's happening under the hood inside the computer is that every kind of computer that you will come across, whether it's a phone device, a laptop, a computer, whatever it may be, it will have RAM inside of it, random access memory. And when the software is running, it will basically allocate a certain amount of RAM for that application. And when you create variables and when you create certain things that are held in memory, what will happen is that it will store the variables inside memory, and then it will give it an address. So you can see here our variable name is the address. It's called age, and it will always point to the value 22. Similarly with the variable name, name is the address of this slot in the memory, and the value of this variable is called Joe. Now, even though this is a kind of illustration of what RAM will look like, majority of computers out there will have 4 gigabytes or 8, 16, 32, basically a lot of memory. And you can imagine like these boxes to be in the hundreds, thousands, and millions almost, pretty much. So this is just an example where there's one, two, three, four, five, six boxes. In box number 3, it will just assign the value, and it will point it to the address age, and then this value over here, Joe, it will point it to the address name. But the more variables you create, it will create more addresses. So let's just say we have another variable called height. I won't write it all out. Actually, I will. My handwriting is absolutely atrocious on the trackpad. Over there we go. That says height, I think. And let's just say that in centimeters it's 180 centimeters. So we just have the value 180. Anytime we access the variable height, it will give us the value 180. Okay, if we create another variable, it will then go to the memory, which is this blue thing over here, and it will basically go to a slot which is empty, and then it will create that new variable there with the value inside. So let's demonstrate this inside Eclipse. Let's go over to Eclipse over here, back again. We can see that we've got two variables. One is called name, which is of type string, and another one which is called age, which is of type integer. Okay, so let's see if these actually work. So if I say system.out.print line and then the variable name, and then again I do system.out.print line and then the variable age. If I now run the program, you can see that it's printed out the word Joe, which is the name that we specified, and then it has printed out the value 22, which is obviously the variable age. So one important thing is that variables, if you concentrate on the name, it's it's got the word variable, is a variable. It's something that can change. So if we say to our age plus equals 10 colon, and then if we print out the value of age, you can see now that the age was initially 22 and now it's changed to 32. And the reason why is because we're able to change the variable, and that's why it's called variable. It can always change, it always varies. It can be one value at one specific time, and at another specific time it can change its value. So what essentially is happening under the hood is initially it's 22, but because we perform a certain operation on it, because we have an expression, the expression being this, age plus equals to, what this basically means is whatever the value is, plus it with the value 10 and then assign whatever that value is back into age. So it's basically 22 plus 10, that gives us the value of 32, and then when we print out the value of age, it gives us 32. So similarly with name, the initial value was Joe, as you can see here. We can print it out, but now if I say name plus equals double quotes, and what I'm going to do is put a space over here, and you'll see why. I'll put the word Smith over here, the surname Smith, and then I will print out the value system.out.println println name. We should see the value Joe space Smith. So let's run that, and as you can see, it says Joe space Smith. So this is pretty much how variables work. You can change them, you can pass them to different functions, you can pass them to different classes. Let's have another example where we have a function called add two numbers, for example. Okay, and then we have a first int first number, and then int second number. And what we want to do actually is we want to return an integer. Okay, and then what we do here is we say return first number plus second number, semicolon. Okay doke. Then what we can do over here is we can say int first number equals 10, int second number equals 5, int answer equals add two numbers, pass in the first number and then the second number, one quick fix. Oh yeah, private static. Okay, so let's now do system.out.println and then answer. Put a colon at the end, or semicolon. So what we've got over here is a variable called first number. It's got the value 10. We've got another variable called second number, which has the value 5. We pass these over to our method called add2numbers, which is right over here. This then takes those two arguments, those two variables, okay, it adds them together and then it returns. That then goes inside the variable answer, because this is still a variable. All we're saying here is create me a variable in RAM, in memory. It's called answer. It's of type integer, and it's equal to the value of whatever this is, first number plus second number. So let's run this program again. And as you can see, the value is 15, which is correct. We can have other variable types as well. We can have a long, I believe. Long, my value equals 10. I believe you need to have an L at the end. So long is essentially another type of an integer. It's much larger though, and we can do the same operations as we can on this variable as we can with integer. So that pretty much wraps up the video. There's so many more data types that you can look at. There's sbyte, there's byte, there's short, there's signed and unsigned. There's many different types of data types, and there's actually data types which you can, not data types specifically, but there's objects that you can create yourself, like a user. An example is one is one object that you can create. So thank you for watching this video. Please put a comment in the section below. Thumbs up if you like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.